Ladies and gentlemen, dudes and dudettes, citizens all, I'm back. I'm back, and it's Star Citizen time. Oh, I'm so glad 3.1 is out. Have you downloaded it yet? Have you updated everything? Are you in there? Have you flown around? Have you checked out the badass ships that they added? Oh my God. I did score a Razor, by the way. But anyway, I'll talk about that later. But today I'm going to talk about pathfinding. That's a job that's going to open up real soon. And most likely in the second patch, or the third patch actually, 3.2. So I'm going to talk about it. And I'm going to look at the different ships that we can use to get out there and break the ice, as it were. So here we go. Sit back and let's discuss. Let us partake.
Do you feel the vibes?
Without the Pathfinder, nothing will be possible. Commerce will be at a standstill. No one would know where to go or how to get there. The Pathfinder finds the jump points, finds safe passages for commercial shipping. He also helps pave the way for explorers, full-time, full-fledged explorers. This is of course, a citizen flying a Cadillac or an Aquila can certainly jump out there, but the overhead and the risk is extraordinarily high. But when you compare it to someone like a Pathfinder who's a solo in a smaller ship, lower overhead, lower risk. Not everyone's going to be hunting down the single guy who's sniffing around the star system. But a giant ship most definitely will attract a lot of attention. So there's a lot of advantages to being a Pathfinder vice a full-time explorer. And there's plenty of money to be had in this job. A lot of money. So as a Pathfinder, I am going to be finding jump points, like I said. I am going to be looking at star systems, figuring out safe shipping lanes for all the Starfarer pilots and the Orion pilots and prospectors out there. I will also be selling that information. So I can either keep the information I learned to myself, because I personally own like a Starfarer. I have a Starfarer. I have a Cadillac. I have a Taurus. So I have commercial and exploration ships that I personally can benefit from pathfinding information. So starting off, I'm just going to be, I'm going to be a Pathfinder. I'm not just going to go hop my Cadillac and just go right on out there. Nah, man, because the expense and the risk is just way too high. So I would just go out there in my Pathfinder ship, and I'm going to discuss the ships. There's a nice little group of them, and I'm going to go out there by myself, low profile, and scope out some areas. I may find a couple of star systems that's really interesting, and then record that data. I'm either going to sell it or take it back to my own fleet, change ships, head out there with my Carrack or my 600i, rack up, but the Pathfinder is going to be a really fun job. And I think it's like one of the most, if not the important job, because the Pathfinder makes way for commerce. A Pathfinder could be like the ambassador for the human race. Say, first contact will most likely be between a Pathfinder and some alien intelligence. So it's going to be a very important job. So if that's where you want to go, you sir, you ma'am, are very special, and congrats, because this is going to be an awesome job. It really is. I'm going to be out there with you because I have some Pathfinder ships myself, and that's what I plan on. That's the first thing I plan on doing once they allow us to explore and start charting stuff. I'm taking the pathfinding ship out first to test the waters, and then I'm going to come back with my full-blown, professional, huge, capital-sized exploration ship. And whether it be that the 600i or the Carrack, don't make a difference. But either one of them, once I get that Pathfinder information, I'm coming back to get the bigger ships, and I'm going back out. But let's look at these other ships here. That's basically what I want to talk about. I want to just look at the different types of ships that we can use, from the cheapest to the most expensive, from like the yeah okay to like the oh god I gotta get one, because I would save the best one for last. But let's just work our way through these different ships and let's talk about them a little bit. With a look that's a little easy on the eyes and a price that's very easy on the wallet, the Aurora LX is your ground level starter pathfinding vessel. It's not necessarily the most comfortable in the world. I still don't get the luxury part of it. I don't. I mean, honestly, it doesn't look like a luxury version of an Aurora at all. But I do own this, and it's it's a very reliable vessel. The Aurora is very reliable because I also own an LN, and these ships can get it done. They can carry cargo, and they are very good at defending themselves. All Auroras now have 4 weapons hard points. The LX in particular you can fit 4 size 1 weapons, and it comes with 2 size 2 missiles, I believe. But you can get it to carry 4 size 1 missiles and you change out the rack. So in either case, it's pretty versatile, very affordable, and it's very cheap to keep up. It's very easy on the gas, i.e. fuel, and it's very cheap to repair, very cheap to replace. So your overhead and your risk will be very low when you go out in the ship. And honestly, if you want to do pathfinding on a budget, this is definitely the ship. The MR, I believe, the marquee version, that's like a fighter. But I think that one, no, the Clipper, I'm sorry, the CL, the Aurora Clipper, that's a trade vessel, but that can also be used as a pathfinder. But I think the LX is built. I think they both have similar scanner arrays, scanner packages, but the LX is designed specifically for pathfinding. So I would most likely go for the LX instead of the Clipper. The only thing the Clipper has is a bigger cargo capacity. That's it. But for pathfinding, cargo is the least of your worries. So I would just stick with the LX. Again, it's pretty reliable in fighting. I've taken it into Arena Commander a couple of times, had some fun with it. But I mean, it's not necessarily something I would purposely jump into the fray with. I mean, it's not going to stand toe to toe with like a Hornet or something like that. But it probably can in the right hands of a pilot, and with the right pilot. But I mean, but you know for a fact that you can fight somebody off if you come across some hostility while you're out there sniffing around. So the LX is, I think, it's like a really great starter kind of ship. And not necessarily a starter. It might just be a great budget ship. Maybe you just don't want to put in a whole lot of money right off the bat, but you still want to go and explore a little bit. So I mean, just to get your feet wet, I would probably get something like this. Again, it's very versatile. So I mean, you can also, I think they still sell skins for it too. So I mean, if you don't like the red color, you could buy a different skin for it. But I think the skins are kind of limited. So I mean, but the new design for me, it's kind of the same. It still looks like a flying brick, even though it's painted red like a brick. It's a red flying brick now, but it's a very the Aurora can grow on you. Even people who hate it, they can't deny that it's a very reliable ship, and it gets things done. It'll help you make your money or get yourself established in whichever way you're trying to do it. So that's my first pick for the Pathfinder. I mean, with this guy right here, it's gonna it'll have the tank, the fuel tank for it. It'll have the range, and it'll have the scanners. So you'll be able to get out there and and start digging around and exploring on a nice little budget. I mean, it's a great ship. The second jewel that I own, that's also a budget dream, is this puppy right here. This is the Mustang Alpha. I'm sorry, Mustang Beta, and this is after I bounced off a planet. That was fun. I was first learning how to land on a planet, and I just bounced off the surface. But the Mustang Alpha, the coolest thing about the Mustang Beta. I'm sorry. The coolest thing about the Mustang Beta is that cabin on the inside, man. I mean, because there's like no other ship that size has that kind of detail. I mean, this is like one distinctive Mustang. I mean, if you haven't been in one, you gotta go pull a citizen to the side and ask them if one of them has a Beta. Or hell, if you see me in the verse, ask me to take a look at mine. I mean, like, if you just get on the Mustang and you just look at that cabin, I mean, it's got a sink, it's got cabinets, it's got a day bed, a TV, it got lockers, a foot locker, a toilet. I mean, it's got like everything in it. It's got everything, including the kitchen sink. It's loaded, and it's set up like a camper, and you can take this camper into deep space. This is like an awesome. This is what I think a Pathfinder should look like. And as a matter of fact, they're in the process of remaking or revising the Mustang body, so it's going to be a little bigger, a little wider, and I'm really intrigued to find out just how the Beta is going to look after this rework, man. I mean, because this is like one of my favorite ships, period. I mean, I just love the design of this ship. It's so freaking cool. It's ridiculous. But yes, this is a Pathfinder ship. It is built and designed for a very long stay in space for one person. So you'll have everything you need in there. I don't know if we're going to have food and drink and stuff, though. But I mean, if we did, this ship is ready for it, because you can put food stocks in there, water and stuff. I mean, you can put soap on a rope in the bathroom. But I mean, this is a very comfortable, very affordable ship. And it can defend itself. It does not have missiles. However, it does have 4 weapon hard points. It has 2 hard points on the nose, which are gimbaled, and they can't go any bigger than a size 1, which is okay. I mean, it depends on what type of weapon you put on there. The wings are both size 1s. So I mean, you can put 4 size 1 weapons on here. So hey, you're good, man. I mean, this is not a combat ship, but hey, heaven forbid you go into an unknown system and then somebody comes at you, I mean, you have at least something to fight with, right? And depending on what you load your ship with, it could be very effective. I mean, you could probably put a pair of Quarreler laser cannons on there, the same laser cannons that are on the Saber Raven, by the way. Those are like disruption cannons. So, I mean, they can cause a lot of damage. I would suggest, like, I mean, that's something for, like, that's another topic for another day. But, I mean, like, for a weapon, for a small ship like this, that's not really combat oriented, deterrent weapons would be great. You know, like disruption cannons, those would be awesome. Absolutely awesome. Anything else? I would think no. I'll go into that later on. But the Beta, it's a lot of fun to play. It's a lot of fun to fly, and you also race with the ship. You know that, right? Because all the Mustangs are pretty damn fast. The racing spec Mustangs are even faster, but all Mustangs can hold their own. They're all pretty fast, including the Alpha. And this puppy's got the speed to bug out when it needs to. So I mean, if you're scoping out a solar system or whatever, and you come across a hostile presence and they're bearing down on you, you can get the hell out of Dodge in this Mustang. Trust me, it's pretty fast. And also, this is real cheap on the fuel, cheap to maintain and to repair. And of course, the insurance premiums on these things are really low. So I mean, this is another great one-man, low overhead ship to take out and pathfind and make that quick buck. because it's not going to be it's not going to be like roses and stuff. But I mean, when you get out there, you start to experience stuff, you start to find stuff. I mean, this ship is really going to take a load off of your shoulders because you don't have to worry about a lot of overhead on this thing. I mean, it pretty much takes care of itself. So this is my second favorite ship, and also another pathfinding ship, another budget pathfinding ship. And this is something I really, I mean, over the LX, I would really, 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 really recommend the beta. If you don't have any other pathfinding ship, if you want to be a pathfinder, you got to get this ship, man. You got to get this ship. I mean, it's just so freaking cozy. I know every time I talk about this ship, I just like crack up, man, because it's so deceptively cozy. Like if you look at it, it looks so Spartan and like antiseptic, like ugh, you know what I'm saying? There's nothing happening except it's got like sharp angles or whatever. But when you get in there, you go, holy smokes, because you see all the detail that's inside the ship. The bed and the cabin and everything. It's so sweet. I mean, so yeah. I mean, if you want to start on a budget, man, please get this ship. The Aurora LX is okay, but this is way better. Way, way, way better. Okay, so why do I call the 315P the Cadillac of the verse? Well, if you have been inside any of the 300 series, you would have had to have noticed the similarities between the interior of those spacecraft and the interior of a really nice Cadillac. I'm talking about like a late model Cadillac. I'm a nice one, like an STS or something. I mean, it's got this really cool leather hand tool looking interior with the nice silver accents. And it's got the really sublime blue underlighting on the console and on the bulkheads, and that's about it, man. That's it. I was somewhat disappointed in the 300 series, especially the 315P, because one, the 315P is a specialized pathfinding ship, which means it's designed to go into deep space for long periods of time, right? Well, all it has to offer is a funky old like pallet that slides out just over the floor, and that's it. But the Mustang that we just reviewed has every damn thing that you could think about. I mean, it's just like just taking a freaking RV from Travel America and just taking it all over the country. I mean, the Mustang is like a flying RV, and here we go with an upgrade, a more of like a premium craft, and it has another damn thing in it. that hurt my feelings. I was mad, but the 300 series is also being reworked. So, I would expect that the 300 series are not going to be all built in the exact same way, because they have three different purposes. You have a racer version, you have a combat version, you have a touring version, and you have this version, the Explorer, i.e. Pathfinder. So, I mean, since this was designed to be in space for a lot longer than the other ones, except for maybe no. I think it would be designed to stay in space longer than the 300i. I would hope they add more amenities to the ship. I mean, but look at the interior of the ship, though. Doesn't this remind you of a Cadillac? I mean, it does to me. I mean, it looks nice. Look at this. It looks like leather interior. I love the blue accents. It's really nice, stylish. It's snazzy, and again, this is also a well-armed ship. So, I mean, you could put a size 3 in the nose, or a size 2 gimbal setup, or it's got two size 2 fixed, or you can put two size 1 gimbal on the wingtips, and it can carry I think it's like 4 size 1 missiles. I have to look that up. But again, combat's not the focus here. So when I got this, 'cause I own this ship, I wasn't thinking about combat. I was thinking about just exploring and looking fly at the same time. And this ship definitely looks nice. And it's going to look a whole lot nicer when they're done retooling it. So that's the only thing about the 315 that just disappoints me is that it doesn't have a nicer cabin setup like along the lines of the Mustang. But other than that, again, it's got a lower overhead, but it's going to be a little more on insurance because this is a premium ship, and it keeps pretty well. And it's maneuverable, and it's really, really fast. You can also race in this ship, too. The 315 is very, very fast. And it can fight. It can also fight. So you get caught out there, you can defend yourself, and you can bug out at the same time. This is a great ship. This is a step up a little bit. But I just wish they put a little bit more into it because it costs a little bit more. But other than that, this is still a great ship. Check it out if you haven't yet. And I'm going to look at the next one. Moving on up the ladder, the Sin is not fight ready, nor will it be for quite some time. I'm quite sure we won't see it this year, but it has a little lab in the back. So I mean, I would look at it as a Pathfinder, but it's more like a researcher. But I think it can moonlight as a Pathfinder because it does have a larger fuel capacity and it does have deep range scanners. This is the Reliant Core that I'm showing, but the Sin is going to look just like this, except it'll likely have yellow accents and probably a couple of different things here and there. It will likely have the same type of armament, two size ones on the wings, and it will have the gimbaled size 3 on the end there, where you can attach either a scanner array, which I think it will come standard, or a tractor beam, or a weapon. But the Sin is not really a combat ship, so of course, I mean, most citizens trying to figure, well, can I fight with it? Well, you probably can, or would devise it. Is it fast? Well, yeah, somewhat fast. I mean, for the size engines that it has, it's remarkably slow. I mean, I'm talking about the core, but the core is kind of slow to have the big engines that it has. I was expecting it to be a lot faster, but as far as the Sin is concerned, there's no. I don't know if it's going to be a cabin inside, but it'll have a lab, and it'll have probably a bunk or two, since it's a two-piloted ship. But it could certainly be run by one person, so that's why I'm including this one. But I think this. I'm really not so sure about the Sin just yet. I have to see it and walk around it and take it out and fly it around before I actually formulate some kind of an opinion on it. But it may be a pretty good ship. It may be a pretty good ship. I mean, so I'm just going to stand by and wait to see what happens, and then I'll probably make a determination. Because I'm right now I'm just kind of like on the fence about the Sin. What? A freelancer? Pathfinder? Really? Yeah, really. Really. And no, I'm not talking about the DUR either. I'm talking about the stock, fresh out the factory, MISC Freelancer. The one that you're seeing flying around in every iteration of the PU since dawn of time. This is probably the most favorite ship out of almost every citizen I've spoken to. They just love this ship. And I do too, because I own one. Truth be told, I own a freelancer myself. I have a stock freelancer, and I thought about getting the DUR, but I said no, screw that, because I have the Cadillac and I have the 600i. I don't need any more big exploration ships. I got those two, will take care of it for me. But I just wanted something small, something like I could fly alone, and it could do a lot of things. And the freelancer is very modular, very, very modular. So eventually we will be able to trade out special components on the ship. We could put in some extra gas tanks for it, buy special scanners for it, long-range scanners, whatever. So will it have the same range as a DUR? No, because it's not built that same way. It's got a bigger cargo bay, so it won't carry as much or as much fuel as a DUR can. But can it be a Pathfinder? Most certainly it can. Most certainly it can. Eventually, we can get the right type of scanners for it. We can get an extended fuel tank for it, and we can take it out there. And it's certainly built for long periods in space already. So it's got 4 bunks. It's got a bathroom in there, but no sink. Go figure. But I mean, it's still a pretty darn cool ship. And you can carry a lot of stuff in the back of it, man. Come on. You can even throw like a dragonfly back there or a Nox, and so you have a little space bike so you can land your ship and go scout the area out. I mean, it's a really awesome all-arounder that you could take anywhere, do anything from cargo hauling, as you're seeing right here, or to be a pirate work, robbing other ships, all that kind of stuff. You can do all kind of things with a freelancer. I mean, it's I even like the name of the ship. It just fits the ship so well. It's perfect, and again, you could do everything with it. And I think this will make a fantastic pathfinding ship. A fantastic pathfinding ship. It's a lot more expensive when it comes down to insurance, more expensive when it comes down to refueling and repairing and rearming because it has bigger weapons. But in the long haul, I think this ship will definitely pay for itself. Not just with like a cargo work or whatever, but pathfinding exploration. This is going to be the best. Like in-betweener, not too expensive, not too cheap. This is going to be like that sweet spot that everybody is looking for. And yes, I am saying it, and I am going public with it right now. The Freelancer will be a kick-ass pathfinding ship. You heard it here, and I'm standing by it. So, you Freelancer haters, tough titty balls. I love this ship, and I think it's going to kick ass as a pathfinder. So, as soon as we can start buying bigger components like scanners and fuel tanks and stuff, I'm tricking mine out, man, because I would love to do that with my Pathfinder. That would be awesome. And another cool thing, it can be totally flown solo. Totally flown solo. You don't have to get any other crew members for this ship if you don't want to. It's awesome because you don't have to worry about that turret. You can literally replace that turret with a scanner array, and just take it out and go do your thing, man. I mean, it's awesome. And that's all I gotta say about the Pathfinder. I mean, about the Freelancer. I mean, it's self-explanatory. Yes, it'll make an awesome Pathfinder, and it can defend itself. It's relatively fast. Though not as fast as, say, like a Mustang or whatever. I mean, because they can outrun this. But, I mean, it's relatively fast. So you can maneuver around. You can bug out if you got to. And you can scrap if you have to. Because the Freelancer is well armed. It's got 4 ballistic cannons. And it's got some nice size 2 missiles on it. So it can stomp at the big boys. But Pathfinder, Freelancer, if you can get it, get it. You can do a lot of things with the ship. So yeah, if you want one of these, this is a good reason to get one. Pathfinding. Let's go to the next one. Yes. Did I call it a scanner tank? Yes, I called it a scanner tank. It is built with a huge scanner array on its roof. That's like it's just almost like it's almost like the Anvil Hornet tracker has the same kind of AWAC type of scanner array, but it's also built like a tank. It's well armored and it's well shielded. It's got huge shields on it. So I mean, it's got these big shields. It's got thick armor, and it's got a huge scanner array on it. So yeah, scanner tank. And that's what I call it. And it's badass. And it's a one-man ship. This is the priciest out of them all. But also the coolest one out of all of them. This has an amazing speed. I mean, I found that this ship, in spite of its girth, because it's wide, it's fat, it's thick. It looks just like a turtle. That's why it's called a turpin. But yeah. But I mean, given its size and its looks, it does not look like it's fast. And this puppy is fast. I mean, it cruises. Its SCU speed is 225, But when you hit the afterburners, it jumps to up to 1200, over 1200. I mean, this thing can really, really move. It's astonishingly fast. So it makes sense to me because this ship is built not only to just be a Pathfinder, it can also be an advanced scout ship. So a military force can have one or two of these and send them in advance of their expedition to scope out hostile positions. And the Terrapin is designed to take a serious beating and still come out unscathed. You know what I mean? It's designed to gather information quickly, store it, and then bug the hell out. I mean, it does not look fast. I mean, if you look at it, it looks like it'll move like a sloth, like a drunken sloth on top of that. But the damn thing is fast. I mean, I took it out and opened her up, and I went well over 1200. I think it was like 1230 or something like that. But I mean, I was really, really moving. You can almost race with that ship. I think it's absolutely amazing. Does it have it's got a little bed in the back? You know, no shower or anything like that, but it's got a little day couch in the back. It's got a one-man scanner system in the back there, in the center of the ship, toward the rear, and it's got these humongous engines on the outside that pivot up and down. I mean, it's a really, really awesome ship. This is, I think, like, for those citizens who have the coin, this will be the best Pathfinder ship you can get for your dough. The best. Because this one has the most protection. You know, as a Pathfinder, I'll be by myself. I won't have any protection at all. So I was always looking for ships that I can arm well enough so I can fight off the foe. Well, this ship only has 2 size 2 lasers, so it can only do but so much damage. So it's not built to fight back. It's built to run, and it's built to run in spite of whatever the enemy throws at me. That's what I'm talking about. So I can get in there, give my information, and while I'm heading out, I think this thing could probably take a size 5 torpedo, much like the Super Hornet, because the Super Hornet can take like 2 size 5 torpedo on a direct hit before it goes bye-bye. I think this baby could probably take 3. I mean, because like the shields alone could take a direct hit. So I don't know how strong that armor is. I mean, this ship is a flying tank. It is literally a flying tank, and I love it. And that's why I'm glad I own one of these, because I had to get one. This is like the ship I wanted to get. This one came up after a while. I think I saw it last year at the anniversary, and when I first saw it, I thought, another pew ship. It's more combat garbage. I mean, combat's alright, you know, but I just think I'm just not flying in a deep space just to be shooting at other people. That's just not my thing. You know, I just want to explore. But then I started looking at the videos on this ship and the information and like the forums that talked about this ship, and I'm just like, man, this is not a combat ship. This is a recon ship. I mean, I could use this for a pathfinding job, and I ended up getting it. I do not regret it. I'm glad. I love this. I mean, it's great. It's a fantastic ship. It has this really cool industrial, like hardcore look on the inside. It's got like scratched metal on the end there. It looks like it's been worn and used and abused. I mean, it has this really, really well used look. It has the typical anvil heads-up display and the dashboard and stuff. But I suspect that this ship will be a very comfortable pathfinding vessel to take out as well. I think it'll be a lot more comfortable than the beta. I mean, unless the beta, like I said, they're going to make the beta wider and a little bit longer, so it may be, that might be just as comfortable too. So, but this ship right here, man, this is like, if I want maximum survivability, if I know I'm going into territories that might be patrolled by Vandul or some unknown hostile entity, this is the ship I want to be in. I do not want to be in any other ships that I talked about. I wouldn't stand a chance. This puppy right here will pretty much guarantee I can get back home in one piece and talk about it. So I'll be able to get my information, all my data, and bug out and make it back to the civilized world a little less aware, but alive. And this one will likely have the highest insurance premium out of all of them, the longest waiting period out of all of them, like when it comes down to for the global cooldown with the insurance and stuff. The fuel, it's still relatively new, so I don't know how it's going to go on fuel. If it's like the Freelancer, it should be nominal. Repairs, that right there, I think that's what's going to hurt, because this ship is specialized to take an extraordinary amount of damage. So when it is damaged, it's going to cost a lot to get it repaired. So that's also something that I will have to consider. But honestly, for pathfinding, hands down, the ship to take out will be the Anvil Terrapin, period. I mean, if you have no other ship that you could pathfind in, you got to get this one. It's got to be it's got to be the Terrapin. This is the baddest ship out of all the pathfinding ships that I own. And I only own a handful of them. And I just showed them to you. Except for the Sin. I don't own the Sin. But out of the ones I do own, this is the baddest one. And it looks like it could carry some cargo in it, though it's listed to not have any SCUs. So maybe you might be able to grab a box and like take a small box of cargo that you found somewhere and stash it on the corner over there someplace. It may stay still while you're flying around. It may not. That would be an interesting kind of experiment to do to see what happens. But it's pretty big on the inside. So I mean, you could even probably pick up somebody and give them a ride somewhere. But this, I mean, if I want to do some pathfinding, I would rather do it in the Terrapin. I mean, I really trust this ship. I love the way it's built, and it's definitely built to last. So there you go, guys. That's my quick rundown of like pathfinding and what you're basically going to be doing and what you should be doing it in. But I mean, you may be more creative than I am. You might find a ship that you say, well, I could do pathfinding in this ship. Might be able to do a pathfinding in, say, a Starfarer. I say you could. Honestly, I think you could probably do some exploration in the Starfarer. Hell, the Starfarer is built to be in space almost indefinitely, right? And I own that one. And sure, I mean, you probably could, because it does have scanners. Yeah, it has huge fuel tanks. In fact, it's got like 8. So, I mean, and it can refuel itself. That's a no-brainer. So, I mean, you can also probably take let's say, hey, take a Taurus, dude. Hey guys, Taurus owners, hey, you could probably tweak out your Taurus, add some fuel pods to that joker, a couple of scanners, and take that out to some pathfinding. Will you be able to do some full-fledged exploration a la Aquila style? No, not necessarily. But can you pathfind with it? You just might. You just might. I mean, it's definitely armored enough, and it's got enough weapons to defend itself. It's not fast, but I mean, it's a very durable ship. So again, you know, I just kind of like this zoomed in on like specialized ships. So I mean, you could probably, like I said, there are a lot of different other ships in the verse that you might be able to customize to do this job. But is pathfinding a worthwhile job? Oh hell yeah, man! Hell yeah. It is. It's gonna be lucrative. Yeah, it's gonna be. I think it's gonna be a very lucrative job. It's gonna be difficult because you need to be able to find these jump points and ferret out like habitable planets or whatever and check out these star systems, because you don't know what's in them. That's gonna be kind of hard. So you go into a star system and find out that somebody else is living in there and they don't like you. You up shit creek without a paddle power, So wouldn't you like to be in one of these instead of say an LX or a Mustang Beta? I think I'd rather be in a flying tank, wouldn't you say? But yeah. So I mean, that's it. So let's you got any ideas, suggestions? Drop them down below. And I appreciate you watching, and I will see you guys later.